friends, and welcome to another edition of the Artist Spotlight Show, being brought to you this evening by the Blue Shamrock record label and Biker Bay Barber and Associates. And if you're a live band looking to get your name out there, make sure you check out Karen with the Biker Bay Barber and Associates. And she's all over Facebook, or you send a request here to info.musicdreamsusa@gmail.com. That's a nice show. We got an amazing artist. Her name is Cheryl Han Woodlock, and we're going to get to find out more about her musical journey, what is she up to nowadays, and we'll find out some really cool things about her this evening. And thank you so much for watching our show. We're live each and every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. right here on Music Dreams USA Radio. We are a distributed iHeart radio station. And now, without any further ado delay, let's go ahead and meet our special guest, Miss Cheryl Han Woodlock. Miss Cheryl Han, how you doing today?
I have.
You're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up. You were good. What happened to you? I can't hear you.
Is that any better?
Yeah. If you stay like right there, stay neutral, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Great.
So welcome to the show. And how you doing this evening? How are you
I
this
am
evening?
really great. It's
Awesome.
morning at the moment. Just hold on. I'm going to turn up volume. Yeah, that's better.
All righty. And you're actually drinking some coffee right now, and well, tea, you should say. You have some tea.
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea. I love it. Well, again, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. So let's off the show, and the people watching now that we'll be watching later. Can you kind of like share with the audience, how you got started, and how did you get started in your amazing career?
Do you want the really long version or the short version? I'll give you a little.
Yeah, we got time.
Version.
Go for it. This is your time. So
Fabulous. Okay. I started singing because my brother was learning guitar, and I sat in on his lessons, and I was about 14. And so I picked up the guitar and started to sing, and just did it at home. And then I went skiing when I was about 18, and they had a piano bar, and I went to sing at the piano bar, and they had a guitar, and I said, "Can I play with you?" And the guy went, "Yeah, sure." And I sang a song, and then he asked for another one, and I sang again, and then we did another song together. So we did about a half-hour bracket, and I was with a fellow, and someone gave him their card, and they turned out to be a legitimate agent, and I started singing professionally for 20 years in clubs and pubs. And after that, I didn't sing for about another 20 years while I had children. Wow. And it's only over the past 2 years, that I started writing my own music and fell in love with song all over again. I really didn't realize how much I'd missed it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's in your blood, right? Once it's in your blood, you can never get rid of it. It's almost like radio. Once you're in radio, you can never get out as much as you want to. There's days, trust me, I want to get out, but I'm trapped. I can't.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you describe your style of music?
I describe it as storytelling. So whether it be country or folk, it's telling a story. The words are really, really important to me to invoke a feeling to people. So the music is important, but the words for me are more important. So I'm an entertainer, a storyteller.
Awesome. And so when you're on stage, what does your show look like when you're on stage performing in front of the audience?
So I work sometimes with a keyboard player or another guitarist. Often I will work solo. And so what I'm doing is just gazing at the audience, asking them to come in, take a journey with me. And so I just gauge the audience as in, are you interested in that song? Okay, now I've got another song for you. And it's just sort of, sometimes I'll make them laugh, sometimes I will almost make them cry, or tell them a story before I actually start a song, because when you're writing songs, just singing the song sometimes is not enough. You need to introduce it. And I was really inspired by a fellow called John McCutcheon, and he does this beautiful introduction to songs before he actually sings them. And that introduction sort of makes you remember the song even more.
Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. What do you like most about the music business? What is it that keeps you coming back and back and back again?
Sorry, I missed that.
What makes you love the music business so much? What keeps you coming back?
Oh, it's always changing. You Each gig you do is different, so the audience is always different, and I love the challenge. I was in a bar that was really, 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 really noisy. They had just had this amazing person come up, and they were doing a sing along, and then the woman came over to me. She said, "You've got 5 minutes and then you're on." And I went, "Oh my God, this place is like, it had imploded." It was just really, really noisy. And I thought, I'm going to have to change everything that I was going to do to get my audience on my side. And that's what I love. I love the challenge because it's always so different. You think you've got a set list ready, but you have to change it. You have to be on your toes. And that's what I really love. And I keep coming back because I just love watching people smile and becoming so engaged that they stop conversations next to them. They're just focused. And having that is something that I just really miss. I think I'm a real ham at heart. I just love the stage.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Are there any artists that you look up to? If so, who are they and what inspires you about them?
Oh, when I was younger, musically, I loved, look, I loved John Denver. I just loved the visions he invoked of Colorado. And I was there in 2019, and I actually got to see Colorado. So that his music was really quite simple, but effective, evocative. But then I loved Billy Joel, and Billy Joel's music was so interesting to play because it just wasn't three chords. There was always something different happening. And each album was very, very different from his next album. So he was always moving forward. In Australia, there's Guy Sebastian who's coming through. He's been around for a while. There are so many people. I'm really eclectic. I have no one person that I really like. I love everybody. You can take snippets of so many people and merge them into your own rather than listening just to one person all the time. I just love how there is so much music around. And I even listen to opera. Like I got stuck in Italy. There was no Wi-Fi. All I had with me was a Walkman. Can you believe that? This
Oh,
is going
Walkman.
back to
Wow.
2012. And all they had was a Verdi Requiem. So I had to listen to this 4 hours of opera every night. So I wasn't listening to silence. It was in a convent. So yeah, that was really, really interesting. So I love all types of music.
So let me ask you this. Let's switch gears a little bit now. Let's talk about the music you're working on right now. Let's talk about the music you've just released. Can you kind of make sure with the audience, how did that music come about? What does your songwriting look like, and are you happy with where you are right now?
I'm really, really happy with where I'm going with my music. I only started writing 2 years ago. So the previous 20 years when I was working and playing everybody else's songs was almost like an apprenticeship, understanding how the songs were constructed and how the words meant so much. And my experiences, I'm now 60, 63, and I've had, I've had 4 children. I've had 2 career changes. And all of that meeting people has left its mark on me. And so I've now found when I was 20, 25, I didn't have enough to write about. I've got so many experiences to write about now. And I find that I've got words when I'm walking, or I live near the beach, the surf beach. And so when I'm walking and I'm just in that lovely zone, I hear words, and I actually get my iWatch out. So I have my iWatch on me all the time, and I record words, and I record melodies that I will hear, beats that might go with that song. And so my construction is usually about events that have happened. So if I meet somebody and I get talking to them, they can actually evoke ideas. And so those ideas, I always carry a pad with me as well. So my journey at the moment is about the thoughts of being a lot older rather than being this really young person. And my latest song, Sweet Talk, that has just been released, is about that being so busy during the day that you don't have time to talk. It's all about getting the jobs done, looking after everybody else. And then at night, you go to bed and there's this beautiful, it's just this peaceful moment where there's just the two of you, and you have that really lovely opportunity just to talk and get to know each other again after the day. And that was something that I wanted a very light, gentle song that evokes that feeling. Sweet talk, lay your head upon my pillow. Sweet talk, your voice so warm and mellow. It's and that's what it is about. It's just that beautiful feeling. We're at the end of the day, we've done everything we've had to do. Now it's just the two of us.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And so let's talk about your music now. What are some of the songs you want to talk about?
There are a couple of some of the older songs that I wrote. There was one called Dust Settled from my Breathe album. And that was a really tough song to write. I had met up with a friend, and we hadn't caught up for 30 years. And she was telling me her story about her marriage and how it had been. And it was terrible. She'd been physically abused, and she couldn't get out of the marriage. And when I asked her why, she said, I had nowhere to go. And it made me realize that when you have a family, when you have your whole life tied up, you can't walk out. You've got to just handle it and stay with it. And so the song Dust Settled was about this amazing woman, smart, beautiful, but she was physically abused and she couldn't get out of it. She couldn't move away from it. And that song was really important. And I put that through for International Women's Day. So it sort of allowed women to stand up and realize that there are places you can go to. You don't need to put up with being violated. You know, there is self-worth, and sometimes it's very hard to find your own self-worth when it's being slowly eroded over time.
Yeah, thank you for doing it. That's awesome. You know, the fact that you're getting involved in the community and you're making awareness of that unfortunate situation that's going on right now. And, you know, there's a lot of people affected by that, you know, and, you know, I myself am personally going through a similar situation right now like that. Well, not the abuse, but the fact that you've been in a relationship for a real long time, and you know, you think you think you're there, you think, you know, that's the person, and the next thing you know, the rug gets pulled underneath you, and you're like, what happened? What just happened now? And so I can understand what she's going through, because I'm kind of like going through the same thing right now, and it's hard, you know. It's you know, you have to you have to face it, you have to accept it, and you have to somehow, some way get over it and somehow pick yourself off that mat and, continue on with life, even though it'd be a little bit stranger, especially spending 5 years with somebody. So, yeah, definitely. We wish her blessings in her situation as well. So thank you for sharing that, though. I mean, just hearing you say that, it's like I just can't help but think about myself, what I'm going through right now. It's like, as you're talking about that, like, man, we need more people just like you to help people just like us in those situations. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. As I said, it broke my heart because she was hiding it for so long, and everybody thought that she had the best life,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't. She was really, really struggling. So, it was great to be able to write a song and to be able to send it to her, because I had to send it to her first to say, is it okay if I share this?
Mm-hmm.
And share your story. And she went, yes, please do. It's so important, especially like we're older women, and you need to empower young people as well to let them know that don't put yourself into the situation. Be strong. You have to look after yourself. In looking after yourself, like you can then look after everybody else around you.
That's right. Take care of yourself first, then you can take care of others. Exactly right. I love that.
Yeah.
And so, talk about the album more. I mean, what are some other songs that you like about the album, and when are the release dates for those songs?
Um, okay, so the previous album, Breathe, was after my separation. I'd been married I'd been living with this person for 40 years.
Oh wow.
And becoming single again was sort of like a really huge, huge change. And I had to learn how to just breathe again and not get anxious and um, find myself and find my place in the world. And I was looking at a house, and I purchased it, but the person who had owned it previously was a little bit toxic and gave me a bit of a hard time. And I remember walking to the house going, I hate this house because of the energy. And a girlfriend came over and we did this cleansing with white sage. And so we're, smoking each room and just sort of releasing that. It was an opportunity. I don't know whether it was the sage, but it was actually an opportunity for me to release my energy, my bad feelings. It was more about me, not the house. It was everything I had been holding within. And so the title of the song was called Breathe, and it was I'm smoking it out. I'm going to clear the air. A lot of stray bullets have been fired around here. Guns are blazing, fuel they burn. The anger's on fire. There are lessons to learn. Just breathe. Clear the air.
Yeah,
Breathe.
thanks for sharing that. I'll tell you what, I've cried like for 3 days in a row. It's like when you go through that. It's just, again, man, you are God sent to be on this show tonight. I'm telling you, it's like, everything you're talking about right now is exactly what I'm going through right now. I'm like Stephen Brady. Are you looking at my cheat sheet right now? Oh my
Well,
goodness. He also says the most interesting artists. I mean, this show for this week is like everything you're talking about is everything that now the people that but I'm going through the same thing, and it's like, wow.
yeah.
Keep on
So
preaching, sister. I'm going to sit back and listen. Keep it going.
fabulous, fabulous.
I need it.
So,
Trust you, I need it.
So that was my previous album, and the new album actually has 11 songs on it. That's going to be released in September. And there was a song that I was umming and ahhing, do I put this in or not? And it was only written in May, and it's called I Know You're There. And it came about because I was talking to this young man. I was at a songwriting workshop, and I love to do songwriting workshops as in being a participant, because you get to meet interesting people and think of ideas outside your own. You get caught up in your own space. Anyway, talking to this young man, something had happened. He was singing this song, and after he'd finished, this gentleman came over and he said, "Could you play my song for me?" And he went, "Yeah, sure." And so the song was Country Roads. The man dropped dead on him. And he said it crushed him terribly. And he said, "I cannot believe this man had a heart attack and died." And I went, "Well, he went happy. You sang his favorite song. What better gift could you have given him?" And he was sort of like, "Oh, I hadn't thought of it like that." And so it was talking about our cups being half full, looking at life. It's not always bad. There are things that happen to us that can make us feel better. And so I wrote a song about when my daughter died. She was not quite 2, and she was in hospital. She'd had an accident, a car accident, and she was on life support.
Oh, no.
And so we donated her organs so we donated organs, and it gave us an opportunity to go, we have lost our daughter, but she still lives on. Her life is still important. She donated 2 kidneys to a young girl, and that young girl, has a normal life again. And at that time, I never felt like my world had fallen apart, but it wasn't like everything, it was totally demolished. There were still snippets of good things happening. So, and the story is that I know you were there, you're looking down upon me. You're right there by my side. You see my fears, you see my pain, the journey that I go through. You ease my burden, so I give thanks to you. And I'm a Christian, but I don't spout all of that. I'm quite spiritual. So it's a song about my spirituality, which I hadn't really discussed before. And so that's why I went, do I put this song in there or not? And then I went, no, it's important to let people know that in spite of the death of someone you love, there's still life after that, and there's a journey that we all have to go through. I grew up a lot after that. It was a very difficult time, but without life's challenges, you don't grow.
Right. It's funny you say that because you're 100% correct. I mean, everyone has a journey, and you're going to go through that journey, and and sometimes you're not going to like the journey, and you're going to be taking twists and turns that maybe you don't want to do. But there's the madness to the method, and one day you look back and you're like, now I know why I went through that journey the way what I did. Yeah, so
Exactly.
spot on. Yeah, so yeah, thank you for sharing the insight of that's amazing. But keep on going. If there's something else you'd like to share with us, this is your time. Please feel free to do so. I'm your fan tonight. I mean, you're like no, our audience, but you're also preaching to me too. So I'm kicking back and I'm just watching you.
Thank you. There's another song, and it's called Memories, and it was about the memories that we have from our childhood and how it creates the people that we are today. And it was a very simple song. It's a 3/4 beat, and it's just this lovely little waltz song. And I went, oh, do I put this in? And I wrote it in 24, early in last year. And it's been sitting on that shelf. Like, we all have songs that we write and we go, is it good enough? Is it not good enough? Is it worthwhile? And we finally put it down. And it's this memories from childhood. That's where it starts. And one of them was about my grandma and watching Nan's aprons sway across the room as she danced in the kitchen in late afternoons. The smell of the fruitcake filling the air. The memory of Nan will always be there. Sweet memories of children and their smiles of delight, the scent of innocence when you kiss them goodnight, the tales I wove them of fairies and flight as they slumbered in arms far into the night. So that it's lovely to, oh, sorry, I forgot to put my phone on silent. So it's, so that's a very sweet little song, because you've got this really heavy song about the death of my daughter. And then I just wanted something that was really nice and light. So it's really lovely to have, we're all very different, and we all have very different emotions, and one minute we'll be really happy and the next minute we'll be really sad. So I'm hoping this album sort of caters for a variety. It's very different to my first album, Breathe was about learning to breathe. This is more about coming to terms with my emotions. Some of it's very sad and some of it's very happy and very good memories, as like Sweet Talk and those lovely moments where you just have time to think about and talk to your partner.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, definitely. I actually had the opportunity to listen to your music. You got an amazing voice, and I love I just love the way you put the music together. It's like it's almost like when you listen to it, it's like you just can't stop listening to it, you know?
Oh,
And
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. So I really enjoyed listening to your music, and that was amazing. And so, do you have any upcoming events coming up that you can talk to us about?
I'm actually I'm going to Mildura for the Country Music Festival on the 13th of September in Victoria. So that's up on our border, where there's some warmer weather happening. At the moment it's winter, that's why I've got my skivvies on. And so we're going up north then. I've got a couple of gigs coming up locally around my area, around the Bellarine, around the Surf Coast. So I'll be doing a few of my new songs then, and I'm just really waiting for the album to come out, and hopefully I will have a whole heap of gigs coming up in the new year when I get my band together.
Awesome. Well, make sure you send us your music. We'll be more than happy to play it for you. And and how did you meet Stephen Brady? How that connection come about?
I hadn't been in the industry for so long, and this is where Google search comes in. And there was another girl that I had been watching locally, and I went, oh, and I saw her music come up on one of my feeds. You've got to love Google and feeds and Facebook. And I saw it and I went, oh, I'll just send this to Steve. And Steve was fabulous. He talked me through everything because, as I said, I've been out of the industry for 20 years and a lot has changed. And so, yeah, he's just been delightful, and I'm very grateful to have Steve backing me.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy, and I just have fun with him, and we've been in partnership with this show for God knows how long. I forgot. I'd ask him one day how long we've been on the air for. Actually last week I went back, I looked at all the previous interviews we did, and just page after page of interviews of artists we've done. And it just brings back the memories. It's just like how cool how the show's grown, and the memories, and you're creating memories that you'll never be able to get back ever again. And so that's also been pretty cool. So how can our guests who are watching now, will watch it later, how can they get in contact with you?
I have a Facebook page, Cheryl Han Woodlock, and that's where you will find my music. I'm also on Spotify, which I hate, but it's one of those very necessary evils to try and get people to find you. So I am on Spotify, Blue Shamrock Music. So if you want to download my CD, my previous CD and my new single, it's blueshamrockmusic.com, and then just type in Cheryl Han Woodlock and my music will come up. Yes, and so my new album, as I said, will be coming out in about 4 weeks. So we're just laying down the last tracks now and getting that ready. And look, just thank you so much for this opportunity. Shows like yours really give us a wonderful platform to allow people to get to know us so much better.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. You know, I mean, we have people watch now, watch later, and that's just the way the shows are lined up. But we love doing the show and helping to support aspiring artists just like yourself. So thank you for the compliment. But these shows all about you guys. So we're glad that we're able to do it. So yeah, that's been amazing. Any final thoughts you want to share with our audience?
Please keep buying our CDs. Go online and buy. Don't use Spotify. We get so very little money. It's really, really hard being a musician. We usually have other jobs that we do to keep bread and butter and our cups of tea. Keep listening to music. Keep going to these stations and follow people and show them your appreciation by purchasing their music. And please follow this forum. It's been fabulous. Yeah, just tell us you like us, because we really need to be like, we are so terribly insecure. That's why we write songs and hide ourselves away for months at a time. And then we emerge and go, we're here. And, but yeah.
Well, you know what, though? We have to hire you as our spokesperson. You do a great job. So, I mean, I might have to bring you on board and do some sports do some work for Music Dreams USA Radio. Well, yeah, my friend, it's so nice to meet you, and thank you for your time this evening, and thank you for sharing everything you shared. I mean, you've personally touched me on the show tonight, and I want to personally say thank you for that. It's like, just everything you're talking about is like, it's like, oh my God, I'm going through exactly what she's talking about. So thank you for blessing me this evening too, and I appreciate you doing that. And yeah. Well, you take care of yourself. All the best as you move forward in your musical journey. And we're going to have Stephen Brady make sure we bring back for part 2. But one last question for me before we end our show. When you're not doing music, what are some of your favorite hobbies?
I'm actually a potter. So when I was at university, I did a degree in ceramics. So my other love and passion is making mosaics and pottery. So that's what I do in my free time, and artwork. So I do art journals as well. So I'm a very creative person.
That's awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we definitely wish you all the best. And you take care of yourself. And, we're going to see you back here soon. All right.
And you take care of yourself as well. Thank you so much for this
You're
opportunity.
welcome. All right. What a great show that was this evening. And, just like Cheryl, we have so many other amazing artists that are going to be here each and every week on Music Dreams USA Radio. Special thank you to Stephen Brady and the Blue Shamrock Music, and also Biker Bay Barber and Company. And I want to thank those folks for supporting our show each and every Wednesday right here on the YouTube channel and all of our socials on Music Dreams USA Radio. Make sure you check us out on the RadioKing.com app, and just go to We Love Radio and download Music Dreams USA Radio. We play everything for everyone. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon on Music Dreams USA Radio. Good night, everyone.